To fart or not to fart in public? That is the question. Some say life's deepest dilemmas are about love, death, or the meaning of existence. But for most of us, there's a more immediate crisis rumbling beneath the surface. Today, we approach this stinky subject with the seriousness it deserves. It's something we've all thought about, some of us more than we'd care to admit. Whether it sneaks out in a quiet room or erupts unapologetically in an elevator, the act of releasing gas around others isn't just a bodily
I'm
function.
on the John.
It's a moment steeped in tension, comedy, discomfort, and yes, philosophy. Today, we're exploring the ancient and very real question. Is it ethical to fart in public? Let's start with something practical: utilitarianism. This is the idea made famous by philosophers like Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, who, for the record, probably did fart, but left no major works on the subject. Utilitarianism says the moral thing to do is the one that brings the greatest happiness to the greatest number. So imagine, you're in a subway car. It's packed. You've just finished a burrito. Nature is knocking, hard. If you fart, you feel better. Relief. Maybe even joy. But what happens to the rest of the car? Confusion, horror, nausea? Now the net happiness takes a dip. But let's add nuance. What if holding it in causes you serious pain or embarrassment? What if your fart is silent and scentless? What if you fart and it makes someone laugh, lightening their day? Utilitarian ethics requires you to run these mental calculations quickly. How much pain will I feel versus how much will I cause? Will the joy outweigh the suffering? Is this a benevolent breeze or a toxic blast? Utilitarianism is complicated because it asks you to weigh happiness across people. And let's face it, farts have different effects. Some make people laugh. Some ruin first dates. The context matters. So does the crowd. Now let's shift gears to Kantian ethics, championed by Immanuel Kant. Kant argued that actions are moral only if they can be universalized. In other words, if you think it's okay to fart in public, you're saying everyone should be allowed to fart in public. Let's test that. Picture a world where no one holds back. Church services, job interviews, silence in libraries shattered by cheeky outbursts. Is that a world you'd want to live in? Kant might say, no. For him, morality isn't about consequences. It's about intent and principle. If you fart because you just don't care how others feel, that's treating people as means to your comfort, not as ends in themselves. That's not okay in Kant's book. But if you tried to hold it in and it escaped by accident, Kant would likely forgive you. You didn't mean to disrespect others. You were just human. Still, Kantian ethics demands discipline. If you're capable of restraining yourself, you should. The moral path isn't always the easiest one. Sometimes it's clenched and uncomfortable.
And my butt is still clenched.
Let's move to something older and perhaps wiser: virtue ethics. This is the school of thought from Aristotle, who believed morality is found in developing good character traits, virtues like honesty, courage, temperance, and yes, maybe even discretion. Aristotle said the virtuous life is about finding the golden mean, the balance between extremes. So when it comes to farting, never farting at all? That could indicate repressed anxiety or pride. Farting constantly without shame? That's just crude. But knowing when it's okay and when to hold back, that's wisdom. For Aristotle, ethics isn't a list of rules. It's about becoming a person of good judgment. If you fart in a yoga class, you probably broke the harmony. But if you let one slip while laughing with friends and they all join in, you might have contributed to joy. It's not about the fart. It's about you and how well you read the room. Now let's consider the social contract. Philosophers like Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau all spoke of an unspoken agreement we make as members of society. We give up certain freedoms, like doing whatever we want all the time, in exchange for mutual respect, safety, and community. In this light, not farting in public is like not cutting in line or shouting during a movie. It's not illegal, but it's a violation of the collective agreement. Of course, this contract isn't written down. It varies by culture, setting, and even generation. In some families, farting at the dinner table is just Tuesday. In others, it's a crime worse than spilling wine. So farting in public breaks the social contract if it betrays shared expectations. If everyone's cool with it, you're good. If you're the only one laughing, you might have broken the bond. Let's now dive into something more personal: existentialism. Think Sartre, Camus, Simone de Beauvoir. These thinkers argued that life has no inherent meaning, so we're free and burdened with creating our own. So what does this mean for farts? In an absurd, chaotic world, maybe farting in public is an authentic act. You feel the urge. You embrace your truth. You take the risk of judgment and stand in your smelly freedom. Camus might say, you must imagine Sisyphus farting, but existentialism also reminds us that freedom comes with responsibility. You're free to fart, but you must accept the fallout. People might glare. They might laugh. They might move away. That's the cost of being real. Now let's touch on Stoicism, an ancient philosophy about control and resilience. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, believed we should control what we can and accept what we can't. Emotions, opinions, flatulence, they're all part of the human experience. A Stoic might say, if the body produces wind, let it be so. Do not be ashamed of nature, but do not inflict discomfort on others carelessly. There's dignity in composure, but also acceptance in imperfection. If it happens, it happens. No need for guilt, just reflection. And finally, let's not forget absurdism. The absurdist sees life as a chaotic, unpredictable comedy. Trying to impose deep meaning on everything is pointless. And yet, we do it anyway. Why? Because we're human. Farts remind us that no matter how serious we try to be, we're still animals with bodies that betray us. And maybe that's okay. So what's the takeaway? Is farting in public ethical? It depends. It depends on who you are, where you are, what you value, and how much gas you've got stored up. If you're a utilitarian, weigh the net happiness. If you're Kantian, consider your duty. If you're Aristotelian, aim for balance. If you believe in the social contract, respect the vibe. If you're existentialist, own your actions. If you're stoic, embrace the body's truce. And if you're absurdist, laugh. Because life is ridiculous. And sometimes, so are our farts. So the next time you feel that familiar rumble in your gut, don't just panic. Reflect. Think. Philosophize. And whatever you do, if you fart, own it like a true moral agent.